We are surrounded by risk, something that COVID-19 has made us acutely aware of. But we all approach it in different ways. Mark Kingwell, a professor of philosophy at the University of Toronto, joins us this morning with more on risk. That is the name, Mark. Good morning. It's the name of a pamphlet that you've written, kind of a lengthy pamphlet, but this is part of an interesting series.
Yeah, hi Annette, good to be with you. This is a series that the publisher Biblioasis in Windsor, Ontario started called Field Notes. Mine is the first. There are 4 already in the pipeline and more to come. And the idea is to revive the 18th century idea of a pamphlet as a kind of provocative and political and timely small publication that maybe packs a decent punch.
Okay, it's kind of like the first social media, right? Because these pamphlets would be handed around, and they're fairly easy to read. They're like a small book or a short book kind of thing. But yeah, it's meant to get conversation started.
They were indeed the original social media, I think. They could be picked up for pennies on a street corner. Ours are a little more expensive, but only about $15. And the idea is to have some reflection on current events from a more thoughtful than just the daily news cycle perspective. And my short book on risk is exactly that. I started writing this before the pandemic, but as everyone can imagine, the circumstances of 2020 made for different contours in thinking about risk.
You allude to the fact that, I see grocery store signs, I see signs in all kinds of stores. Hey, we're all in this together. But you allude to the fact that when it comes to the pandemic, we are not.
Well, it's an interesting and tricky problem because, in one sense, the pandemic is indifferent to the difference between persons and communities and even geographies. But what we learn when we think about risk critically is that risk is not evenly distributed across populations. It is shaped by political and cultural and social factors. And if we really want to understand how it functions in everyday life, we have to take those into account. So yes, in one sense, we are all in this together. We're all facing the same kinds of challenges, but we know that it's disproportionately affecting Black communities in the United States, Indigenous communities in Canada, poor people everywhere, elderly people everywhere.
Long-term
Uh,
care facilities?
Absolutely right. And, there's a reason for that. It's not just that human vulnerability, it's the way that populations are shaped by neighborhoods, institutions, by their housing situation, and so on.
What do you hope is accomplished by your book on risk?
Well, I guess the main thing is, I'm a philosophy professor, so critical thinking is always the aim that I'm working towards. But I'm also a political philosopher, and I'm concerned with questions of justice. And I think that when you start that critical thinking, it can lead to policy changes, to public awareness, and even new kinds of I don't know, consciousness, political
Hmm.
consciousness about the nature of our communities.
Maybe looking at things through somebody else's eyes, right? That way. So the books are out now. Yours is the first of this pamphlet. You mentioned Biblioasis is the publisher. Where can we get them?
Oh, they're everywhere. Online, if you are staying at home a lot, Indigo and Amazon are your best choices there. Indigo for preference, in my view, but at local bookstores everywhere. And I hope people pick it up because like I said, it's a short book, but I hope it packs some kind of impact. And there are more to come.
Okay, looking forward to that. Mark Kingwell, thank you very much for talking with us on Morning Live today.
Thank you, Annette.